Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Love and Lore podcast. This is episode 6, and for this one, I'm going to be talking about confidence. I will also be solo for this one. I feel like solo episodes are so fun to do. I like having one on one conversations with you guys. But to be honest, for this one, I am really nervous. Like, I'm actually so scared, which is so ironic because it's all about confidence, right? But yeah, I'm really scared for this one. I think it's such a touchy subject and very, very personal, but I feel like it's super important to talk about this. And yeah, like at the end of the day, if it helps anyone, it would make me really, really happy. So yeah, let's get into it. So I guess I should start from the beginning. So as a kid, I would definitely say I was more on the shyer side. I remember being super clingy to my parents and definitely some attachment issues there, but I think I got over it as I got older. Um, Also, it didn't really help that I couldn't speak Tagalog much in the Philippines. I couldn't really interact a lot with people, and I guess that kind of made me on the shyer side, but it wasn't too big of a deal. When I moved to Canada, I remember being also really shy, but I also remember being pretty comfortable or confident around people I was comfortable with. I think that's the case for a lot of people. And yeah, over time, I kind of grew out of that shyness and developed a really nice friend group. I had a pretty bubbly personality and yeah. However, towards like the end of my high school year, or not high school, the end of my elementary school years, I would be like, I am such an introvert. Like, I would call myself an introvert and think I was so cool for that. When really, I think deep down, I was definitely more outgoing than I made myself out to be. I was just low key going through it because, like, in grade 7, we had to move schools. Well, yeah, I think if you're a Carleton person, you know what happened. But yeah, long story short, we all had to move schools, and I was really, really shy and emo, or I was really emo for that era of my life, and it made me really shy in grade 7. And I was like, I'm an introvert, guys. Like, don't talk to me, even though deep down I was not. Definitely was not. And yeah, that was that. So that was what I was like in my early years of school. I was definitely pretty outgoing around people I was comfortable with. Fast forwarding to high school, I remember being in grade 7 and having so many role models and so many people that I looked up to that were in high school, and they were involved in so many things, so many clubs. They were like president of this, and just I wanted to be just like them. I remember in my bed before I went to sleep, I would think about my future and be like, when I'm in high school, I'm going to be just like them. Like, I'm going to be so involved. I'm going to be so outgoing and so popular and so whatever. And going into my first year, I was like, what the flip? Like, what is this? Like, I'm so awkward. I was so awkward and so shy and really weird. And I just wanted to fit in with everyone. And yeah, I've definitely had to embarrass myself a bit before I got comfortable with people or found people that I was comfortable with. But yeah, it's all a part of growing up. And yeah, I was definitely not super, super confident when I came into high school. I think, again, that's the case for a lot of us. It's a new environment, a really weird transition. And I know I've mentioned this in almost every single episode so far, but the biggest thing that contributed to my confidence and growth as a student and as a person throughout high school was drama. And yeah, joining drama in that community and that niche at school was the best thing I ever could have done for myself. I remember being so shy in drama 8 in that little black box in my drama 8 class, but eventually as time went on, I started to really love drama. I loved doing question of the day. I loved being in the black box. I loved performing. And then I slowly started to involve myself in a lot more drama theater related things. I joined main stage. I did acting coaching. I was in all the drama courses and I just fell in love with performing and I loved the feeling of rehearsing. I loved rehearsing. I loved the feeling of being on stage and being in front of an audience and the adrenaline and being with a team of people and being all nervous and having fun together and that community was so fun. And I think really it helps you become so well-rounded. I think in high school it's definitely something you should consider if you're thinking of taking drama as an elective. It really does help with confidence. Another way in which drama really helped me at school was doing class presentations. Yeah, in the beginning of high school, I hated doing class presentations. I was so terrified. I think all of us are at some point. But towards the end of high school, I started to really love doing presentations and doing PowerPoints and stuff. Obviously, because, when you perform so much for audiences, it's something that, you're more comfortable with, right? I loved doing presentations when I had to make a PowerPoint. I'm like, yes, I'm going to eat so hard. And I just love being in front of people and talking to people. And I just love that feeling. Um, I barely get to do it now that I'm in uni, but when I do get the chance to speak up or anything, I'm like, I'm so down. So yeah, that was my little thing on drama. Of course, I had to mention that. Like I said, in my early years of high school and grade 8 and stuff, I was very weird and awkward and shy. Another thing was I was also very negative towards myself. I would always be so mean to myself, and that also changed as I got older. I realized how important it was to love yourself. And by the end of high school, I was definitely involved in a lot of things. I was involved in a lot of clubs and extracurriculars, and I had a pretty good school work life balance. I had a really close friend group, and I was doing great in school. I had great grades, and I was just overall having a great time. And I think a big reason for that is just doing a lot of things and doing a lot of things that I was actually passionate about. Because, yeah, when you involve yourself in a lot of things that channel your best interest, it really does make a big difference in how you show up as a person. And yeah, I'm sure that I made little grade 7 Sophie proud with how much I've accomplished throughout my high school career. I think I definitely um, did that for her. So now that I'm out of high school and kind of have a life on my own now, I definitely would say I am so much more of a confident person. I have so much love and respect for myself, and I would definitely call myself an extrovert. I'm pretty outgoing. I love making friends. I love talking to people. I love giving people compliments. Like I just love people. And even at work, like I'd much rather take orders on a till than cook at the back of the kitchen or something. Like I just love interaction. And I think being in uni and having so much independence is a big factor to that. I think being in high school, it's so hard to really get to know yourself because you're surrounded by so many people and at times so many toxic people. And yeah, I think being in uni has helped me with that for sure. So now I'm going to jump into some tips and advice. These are things that have helped me become a much more confident person and just tips that can help you channel your best self. So the first thing I have here is having non-negotiables. So what non-negotiables are basically things that you must have in order to feel your best self. So for me, I have three. One being having my brows done. The second would be having lashes on, and the third thing being having short trimmed nails. And yes, I know the third one is very specific, but yeah, like for me, having short nails makes me feel so clean and so put together, and I love typing on my laptop knowing I have short nails. I just feel so much better about myself when my nails are cut, and I think a lot of that comes from me growing up and always being told to cut my nails. So I think I've just kind of gotten used to having short nails and loving it. So yeah. I know for a lot of people, having their nails done is what makes them feel the most confident. And honestly, I love that for you. Like, if you have your nails done like all the time, period. I love that for you. Like, at work, my go to favorite compliment for people is, I love your nails. My other non negotiable is having lashes on. Um, I love my lashes so much. They just make me feel so confident and so hot. And yeah, like you'll rarely see me out of the house not wearing lashes. And that's not to say that I'm not confident without lashes on. I'm perfectly fine with myself not having lashes on. It's just something that makes me feel confident, and it just puts my entire outfit together and makes my whole look better, honestly. And I love it so much. But again, like even if I don't have lashes on, I still love myself just as much. So yeah, it's just something that I like to do. A little fun fact about me is that one of my favorite parts of my morning routine and just getting ready for whatever is putting on lashes. I love sitting in front of my mirror and putting on my lashes. It's like the most therapeutic part of my day. I love it so much. And at the end, I look good. So, period. And then my third one is my brows, obviously. I love my brows. If you know me, you know I take my brows very, very seriously. I think this comes from like when I was a kid or growing up, I had the bushiest brows, and I got them first threaded when I was in like grade 10, and I have never gone back. Like I have been doing my brows probably like twice a month ever since grade 10, and yeah, again, I'm never going back. I love my brows. I love doing my brows. I love getting them done. And honestly, right now, my brows are starting to grow back, so you'll catch me at my salon getting my brows done very soon. So yeah, if all three of those things for me are checked off, then I am unstoppable. So yeah, those are my non-negotiables in terms of physical appearance. I also have my non-negotiables in terms of like habits and hobbies. So going to the gym, reading, making sure I'm always on top of my schoolwork and other really important stuff. So yeah, I think having non-negotiables are so important because it shows that you know yourself as a person. And once these non-negotiables are checked off, you are unstoppable. And that's really hot. My second tip is to just do it. Don't even think about it. So, what I mean by this is when something crosses your mind, or you have a certain ambition, or you want to do something, or tell someone this, or text someone that, as soon as you get that thought, don't even think about it. Just do it. Because the longer you wait, the less likely you're going to do it because you're going to be just overthinking it and over catastrophizing it. It's not going to go anywhere. So just do it. And for me personally, like when I think of something really extravagant or really big that I want to do in the future, I'm like, okay, I'll do this in like 5 months. But then in my head, I'm like, wait, what if I just start tomorrow? Like, what if I even start right now? And that shift really makes a big, big difference. The biggest example I can think of would be starting my podcast, right? I remember, oh god, I've always wanted to make one and I've just been putting it off for such a long time. But yeah, you can only get so far just by thinking about it. Like you actually, at some point you're gonna have to make the account and buy the microphone and start the episode and press record. Like just sitting there and thinking about it is not gonna do anything, so just do it. Like for example, this microphone that I'm using right now, I was in my head before buying this, I was like, I'll get my microphone like in a few months. And then I was like, wait, what if I just buy it right now? Like, I can just order it right now and it's going to come tomorrow and I can make my first episode tomorrow. And that really just pushed me into making the podcast. And yeah, that really just made the process so much faster. And lo and behold, I actually pressed record and am holding the microphone that I was contemplating on buying right now. Another example of this would actually be doing my first dance drop in. I remember I've always wanted to dance as Studio North, right? So I was like, how can I do that? Because I was always so fascinated by it. I think it's so cool. I've always wanted to dance there. And so I was like, okay, it was like summer of 2022. I was freshly out of high school and I literally booked myself. I downloaded the app and I booked my very first drop in by myself. I paid literally $20 for it, and it was a intermediate beginner choreography. And I literally just said YOLO and went to the class by myself. And I was so nervous, but I came out of it so happy and proud that I did it. And now I go there like what, maybe like once or twice a month with a friend, and wow, like I can't believe I did that. But yeah, like instead of being like one day I'm going to do a dance drop in, it's like, what if I do one tomorrow? Like what if I do one next week, you know? Changing your timeline to, oh, I'll do this in a few months to, oh, I can just do this tomorrow or next week or in 2 days is probably the best tip I can give on this. Another thing is like the whole idea of, being on your deathbed and being like, if you were to look back at your younger self, like what is one thing you wish you would have done? And I think about that a lot because girl, like when I'm on my deathbed, I want to be so proud of myself. Like that's one of my biggest fears is wishing I could have done something sooner or wishing I could have done something, period. And even if the outcome doesn't work to your favor, at least you tried, right? Like I think just trying and showing up is so attractive because it shows confidence, it shows bravery, it shows courage, and that is the hottest thing ever. And then on my wall, I actually have a sticky note, and it's like I got it from one of these inspirational like TikTok graphic quote thingies, and it's so good. I always think about it. I always refer back to it when I think about doing something. But it's like trying and not trying, right? So when you choose not to try and you choose not to step out of your comfort zone, your only option is not knowing. Your only option is you will never know if it'll work out because you're not trying. But if you try and if you push yourself, you have two options instead of one. You have either one, you succeed, or two, you don't. And, thinking of it like that, girl, I'd much rather try than not try if there's a chance that I could succeed. So, yeah, I think that's a really cute way to look at things. Always try because there's two options. You either fail or you don't fail. And if you don't fail and you actually see something come out of it, that is awesome. And even if you fail, that is also awesome because at least you tried. My third tip is to have role models. I have so many role models in my life, whether that be people in my family or influencers online or just random people on the internet or whatnot. I look up to so many people and it really just gives me so much hope and it makes me so happy to see them succeed and it makes me really excited to one day be like them. So yeah, just having someone to look up to, I think it's super, super important. Also, like Seeing myself as a role model, I think it's also pretty important. And as you know, I have a lot of little cousins and I want to be a good example for them. And knowing that, it also pushes me to do a lot of things and making sure that I'm in check. Another thing that I have that's pretty basic and pretty self explanatory is being yourself. I think being yourself is the hottest thing ever. Being authentic and just not being afraid to express yourself. It's just really, really, it's so hot. And yeah, I think like so much of society nowadays is trying to fit into one mold or trying to be this specific person. But I think this is so cheesy, but yeah, just being different and being you is so cool. And it's so boring if everyone's the same. And I know you hear this all the time, but I truly do think that being yourself and being authentic is the best thing you could possibly be. Like, I think everyone's personality is so suited for them. Like, I might not be friends with you, but I see the way that you act around others and I see the way you carry yourself, and I think it's amazing. Another tip that I have is doing things by yourself. I think I've already told this in the first episode, but guys, I love doing things by myself. I love being independent, and when you do things by yourself, you really get to know yourself the most. And yeah, I literally booked a dance class by myself. I signed up for this summer volleyball thing by myself and sucked at it, but at least I tried and at least I got to know myself a lot more through that experience. And I signed up for multiple volunteering opportunities by myself in different fields that I never thought I would ever touch. Like, I volunteered at a police station and even a hospital. I've also auditioned for a play by myself. I like to go shopping alone. I've gone on a little self solo picnic. I've taken myself out to a movie. I think just having time with yourself is so valuable. And branching off of that is doing things scared. I've put myself in really scary situations, but at the end of that, you become a much stronger, more confident person. And you build your character and you have more to talk about and you have so much experience. And yeah, like, even if it's risky, I think it's always worth the risk no matter what the outcome. So yeah, just do it scared because you really never know what the outcome might be. My next tip here is a pretty obvious one, but it's surrounding yourself with good people. And I include this one especially because I think this is what I need to work on the most. I feel like I definitely tend to let anyone in. I feel like I don't um express my boundaries enough, and I feel like I think that just comes with me wanting to be friends with everyone and being a people pleaser sometimes, but I really have to lock in and just protect my energy a lot more. I notice that when I'm with people that don't, you know, that aren't right for me, I really, really do feel it. And I just feel so gross. And yeah, it's something I want to work on. So yeah, this tip is for me as much as it is for you guys. But yeah, it's something I can work on. But I'm so lucky to have so many people that are supportive around me and such supportive family and friends. And I really think it's shaped me as a person as well. But yeah, surround yourself with good energy and you'll become good energy. And my last tip here is to stop complaining. I used to complain all the time. And honestly, even to this day, I still complain here and there. Like, of course, you gotta complain sometimes, right? Like, you gotta express your emotions out. But I try to look at things with more gratitude no matter what situation I'm in. I always try to be present. And, like, even if something is not going my way, I try not to complain about it. I think of it as a learning opportunity. Like, one of my favorite sayings is instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? You think of it as, what is this teaching me? And I think that perspective is so powerful. And yeah, I just like when I complain, I also feel really gross. And I don't know, I've just learned to become more present and grateful. So those are just some of my tips on becoming a confident person and channeling your best self. Of course, there are days where I'm not like this and I'm not confident all the time. I literally, like, one day I just cried at my cousin's house because I felt so crusty. um but yeah, like, I just really try to be present and grateful. And again, I'm also lucky that I'm surrounded with such amazing people and influences and role models. And yeah, like I said, I'm not always confident all the time. I still get terrified to post on my Instagram story. I always have to ask all my friends if this is good to post or if I should post this or if it's too risky. But it's okay because no one cares. And doing this episode, even, like, I actually, fun fact, I recorded probably like 30 minutes worth of me talking earlier and I just scrapped it because I was just so scared to keep going and I was so scared to post it. But I re-recorded, I locked in again and pressed record again. And this is my second attempt doing this episode. So yeah, it really took a lot out of me to do it. But yeah, this episode is called Confidence, so might as well honor that. And yeah, I think just one final note, not everyone is born a confident person. Like I said, I was very shy and awkward and weird, but with experience and with trying new things and doing things and being ambitious, I was able to grow out of that, and I am definitely a much more confident person today. But yeah, that is all that I have to say for this episode. I had so much fun doing this one. I hope this helps someone out there. And yeah, just don't forget to be yourself, be confident, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode.